Welcome back, everyone, and I'm so glad you are here to join us on another day of Tanks. My name is Susie Kim. This is Wolf Schroeder. This is the WGL APAC-ASIA Gold Series, and we are coming to just about the last week. I believe we have 2 more games after this.
Yeah, so there's 3 broadcasts left, including today. So the rest of these teams have 3 days worth of matches to try to grab their last-minute points to either make it to the playoffs or survive and stay in Gold Series for next season.
Absolutely. All right, let's just get right into it. Here is the overview of our tournament. Our tournament basically started November 26th, and next week it'll be February 4th. That's our playoff day. That's the day everyone is looking forward to see which 4 teams are going to go ahead to the finals.
That's right. Actually, the playoffs itself are not going to be. So there's only 2 days left for actually getting points, and then the final day will be on the 4th, decide who makes it. If you guys are joining us, you're joining very late, and if you don't know how this works, let me explain it to you really quick. As you mentioned the dates already, it's best of 9s of 4 maps. Tiebreakers possible if we get with a 4-4 score. We're using tier 10 tanks, as all WGL tournaments are using this year. We've added a few new maps: Cliff, Prokhorovka, and Murvanka. And for the points, which is really important right now, 3 points for a win. If you go to a tiebreaker, the loser still gets a point, and they take it away from the winner, so they only get 2. And then if you lose the series, you don't make it to tiebreaker, you don't get anything.
Yep, if you don't show up, you don't get anything either.
That's true. It's been somewhat of a trend recently.
It has been. Towards the end of the season, it's a little disappointing to see, but some of the teams have taken the easy way out, the quote-unquote easy way out. But here are the teams who have been representing our Gold Series so far. Well, EL Gaming and Super Noobs, these are 2 teams that have been absolutely phenomenal and on top of the rankings since day 1, basically. Then we have Horseman, Karen Tiger, B Gaming, and B Gaming. Those 3 teams have been very good about being right in the middle.
Yeah.
Couple wins, couple losses, but they've really been climbing up there as well. And then we have the Super Friends, Team Efficiency, and the Immortals. They've been struggling a little bit, but like I said, in the later part of this season, Team Efficiency have been doing really, really well. And they're one of the lower end teams who have never not shown up for a match.
Yeah. Just looking at some of the rankings, it's an important match for Horsemen today. If they can end up beating EL, that would be really huge. But we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But yeah, this problem with some of the teams not showing is a bit regrettable. Like, it's a bit sad.
It is.
Especially because when you play against a team that's a bit stronger than you even, it's really important to get that experience and actually have that practice. Even if you can't make it to playoffs, or even if you're out of Gold Series, you want to have that preparation of playing against a real strong team.
Yeah, so today's matchup here, we have B Gaming versus Immortals. Then match 2 is Horseman versus EL Gaming. And then third is PvP Super Friends versus the Super Noobs. And now we've already actually gotten notification that the Immortals once again did not show up for their match today. So they're going to be facing that disqualification. They have 0 points, and so we're going to go straight into match number 2, which I'm sure everyone's waiting for anyway, because it's EL Gaming.
Yep, and then after that we'll have the Super Friends versus the Super Noobs. We already had that once in our first round robin. The Super Noobs being the better of the super teams this season at this point in time. The Super Friends are currently at a 2-10 score, and the Immortals are at a 1-11, so both of those down at the bottom. A shame the Immortals couldn't show, because they want to get as many points as they can to possibly make sure they're in Gold Series next season. Right,
and I think as of right now, because of all the DQs, they are currently in 8th place. And yeah, I mean, we will have to see. The Super Friends, they're 7th place, and I believe Super Noobs are in 2nd place. So yes, they're going to have to face off the second to last and second to first teams will be facing off. But first game of the night will be EL Gaming versus Horsemen. So let's go into introducing you the Horsemen first.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at those team rosters now. The Horsemen have really, talk about a team that is diligent. They trimmed their lineup down a little bit from last season, but they've really actually put a lot of time into improving as a team. Even though the team says to a certain extent this is not their number one thing, it's more of a hobby to them, but they are very serious about it. And they've improved so much since last season, rocketing up to now 3rd place. And if they can beat EL today, they'll be right behind Super Noobs in points.
Yeah, absolutely. This team has, there's some players on this roster we haven't really seen much of all season long. In fact, in season 1 as well. But those who do come by, Faluso has been great. Spencer on that tier 8 has been absolutely phenomenal. There are some guys where you watch them and you just go, man, total MVPs for this game,
Yeah. The only player I think we have not seen even one time this season is Name Violation.
Meat Bun.
And Meat Bun, that's right. Both of those players haven't shown. But EL Gaming, top of the lineup. The only loss they had was a problem, like a connection problem they couldn't end up showing to their match. So they had one DQ, but otherwise they have won every single match. Most of their wins are like 5-0s, some 5-1s littered in there. A notable 5-2 versus Team Efficiency.
Ooh, yeah.
But this team is the team of elites. Fox, Reflection, Black, Nice, Spring. We saw Flag actually on Monday. Newman and Guan Ren. These guys are the best players in Asia, and they're trying to get that first place seed spot, and they're basically already there.
EL Gaming, I know they used to be Elon Gaming, but I'm almost thinking they should be Elite Gaming, dude. They are so good. And so, yeah, EL, always very, very fun to watch. Just watching their accuracy and the way that they play. These guys, like we've always been joking, they're like robots, like they just know and they can read each other's minds almost. All right, guys, the map selection has happened. Here are the maps that they have chosen to play on for this match. It's going to be Mines first, then Cliff, then Muravanka, Steps, and then our tiebreaker is on Ghost Town. And one thing we've noticed is Mine and Cliffs, these are going to be really quick games, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and this has been a pretty unique map, like ban, pick, sort of veto system. I think this is a really smart choice by EL to, first of all, get rid of Himmelsdorf, which is our most popular map this season, but I think it's Horseman's very best map, so they probably banned that one out right away. Interestingly enough, the two most popular maps we've seen, Ghost Town and Himmelsdorf. Ghost Town is the tiebreaker map, so it's unlikely we'll even see that. And the maps that we do see, half of them really EL favored maps, like Steps, for example, and Cliff, I would say, and even Mines, EL is really good on that map, so I feel like this is a very EL favored map
Okay,
list.
what map is EL not good at, though? Come on.
That's true, but I feel like if on Himmelsdorf, that would be like the best chance for Horsemen, but even still, it would be difficult. Let's see if Horsemen can take a win today, because they almost did take out EL, and they did beat the Super Noobs earlier this season, so they're really top tier team.
All right. Well, we're looking in the lobby now. I think both teams earlier they were practicing with one another, so I'm pretty sure they're all warmed up, ready to go. Everyone is connected. We're just going to have to sit and wait for that. The cue for us to start.
Confirmation.
But yeah, EL versus Horsemen. Horsemen have changed their gameplay a lot. Last season we saw them really running as a pack, all together as one, very aggressive. And this season they've definitely slowed things down and just kind of figured out, I guess, how to use these maps to their advantage better.
Yeah, and they've changed their style a lot. I feel like when I look at Horsemen, I almost imagine a scenario where like Faluso has in between seasons like climbed a mountain and like meditated, and he's come back and he's like, guys, let's slow things down. We rushed into last season a little bit. Horsemen just nearly making it to the playoffs last season, but not quite able to make it. I feel like Horsemen has really taken the spot of Karen Tiger in a lot of ways. This season they've really jumped up. They're in third place, and they're nearly able to take second.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm excited to see these playoffs. It looks like the first two teams are obviously secure, but we'll have to see who makes third and fourth. The game is ready, guys. Let's head into set number 1. All right, guys, here we go. Set number 1, Horsemen versus EL Gaming, and EL will be on the attack first. Let's take a look at the tanks.
All right, starting with EL, as they are on the attack, they've got one object went forward. They teched in 2 STB-1s, which I've seen a lot of the Japanese teams, especially B Gaming, really favoring on this map, and then 3 TVPs, as well as an RU-251. Now, for Horsemen,
whoa, look at that. Well, okay, let me stop you for a second. EL Gaming going all over towards the lighthouse side and not towards the mine. I was really sure that they were going to go and try to start a brawl over there, but it looks like Horsemen also expected this, and they're all spread out towards the bottom of the entire map.
So just taking a look at the tank positions here, EL is really, I think, playing against Horseman's lineup. Like, Horseman brought in E3, a Waffen. Okay, they're bringing a Waffen on this map, and 2 IS tanks and a 215B. So EL was like, well, we're not going to, with our tank lineup, engage you straight up. Faluso is on that Conqueror GC, so it's another tank that would be somewhat missing from the brawl, but I think even still with the durability of the tanks that that Horseman is running, it would be almost suicidal to just try to crash in and brawl with them, even though EL is so good at that. I think they're really playing for the tank lineup quite well. Let's see if they can get some positional advantages here. The STB1's already taking the high ground. And it's really important, too, because look at where Guanren is. Like, the only way you can hit him from the low ground is right in his face, and that's where the STB has the best armor, the best plating.
Yeah, so very, very slow start on mines today. We could hear some shots being fired somewhere on this map, but not really anything connecting. Newman was the first one to take a little bit of damage. Ooh, wow, that was quite nicely done as Guanren takes a bit of damage.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen Feluso actually on an SPG, and he's quite good at it, to be honest.
Yeah, he definitely hit what he needed to. Spencer, whew, nice from behind the boulder, just kind of peeping out to see if he can kill him off, and he does. The first casualty goes to Spencer on that 1390.
Pretty impressive shot, too, with an STB1 at that range. But they knew where he was, and he wasn't able to move. He was literally pinned down there. If he had moved in any direction, he would have been killed even faster. So good positional moves here by EL. Now, EL does have a lot of autoloaders on their side. You know, they have these TVPs.
They do.
So they have a lot of damage, but it's all going to be about swarming and using their focus fire to actually eliminate these IS tanks.
Yep, so yeah, just from across the way, they're definitely battling from afar. All the TVPs over by the Lighthouse side for EL Gaming.
This is a really wonky composition for Horsemen. I mean, keep in mind they have like 2 tank destroyers and an SPG with IS tanks. They really want to play this hard, turtley, you know, defensively.
Ooh, Flag and Archon going back and forth, trading shots. They're both chipping away at one another.
I feel like the lineup of EL would be really weak versus Horsemen if we didn't have 10-minute timers, if we were at the 7-minute timer, because they need more time to really chip away at these tanks.
Yeah.
But because they have so much time, they are, you know, they've nearly killed Archon. They already killed Spencer. They've taken very little damage themselves. Archon
does go down. Can't even speak fast enough.
Yeah, well, that's how quick EL is. That's how efficient they are. Sometimes you can't even commentate what they're doing because it happens so fast.
All right, well, already Horsemen down 2 tanks. The others are pretty much full health right now, but remember, they do have that tank, you know, the Conqueror is there. Feluso with only 530. Oh, let's make that almost 0. That he's got 86 HP left.
Yep. I would guess that was probably Flag who got that shot, but either way, he's still alive. And this RU-251 is going to have a tough time versus this E3 tank destroyer, but he's just spotting.
Yeah, I think right now he's just trying to be there. He's going to see if he can lure Gorilla out so that another member of EL can take those shots on him. Put Gorilla in a compromising position.
Sure, you know, he also knows that if his Sixth Sense turns off, that Gorilla is simply just not even there anymore, and that he's left. So he's just there to make sure that they know that Gorilla hasn't moved, and so they're just going to keep pinning him down there. Meanwhile, Flag is actually sneaking into this area here, might actually go and start that base capture.
Possibly, but as of right now, it just looks like they're trying to eliminate as soon as possible. Gorilla does take a little bit of damage as well on that E3. There he is.
Yeah, Reflection just continuing to spot here. If Reflection could get past, he could actually finish off Feluso, but Gorilla's not going to let that happen.
All right, base capture does begin. You were right. He's going to sit in there. And Flag on that object 140. He's just going to sit there pretty and see what he can do to lure out the Horseman.
And with his position here, notice he can also, if Gorilla decides to push around the corner, he can hit him at a distance. So it's twofold a good position because he can threaten the base capture and, again, punish Gorilla if he moves up. Gorilla is like really stuck there. And if he leaves, the STB1s are actually going to pick him off from behind. That's exactly where they're looking right now.
All right, well, base capture down to 70 seconds now. Yeah, Reflection is trying to take those shots on Gorilla. He obviously knows, though, that he doesn't want to get blown up by this E3.
Yeah, the E3 could actually one-shot him if it hits him at the side like that. But he's very brave. He knows the range really well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Flag does get reset. He takes a shot.
Still in it, though. Still hanging in there. And remember, we talked about this a lot all season, but Horsemen, and we even talked about it today, Horsemen is a team that's gone super much on the slower-paced games, the defensive games. And so that's why this one is taking a little bit longer, but they have a big problem on their hands as they're down on tanks, and eventually those TVPs could just go into the base capture if they don't deal with Flag, who, by the way, is playing again today, so they're starting to use this guy a lot more. That's one thing I love about EL Gaming is even though they've already basically secured first place, they are going to, use some of their lesser-known members and still take all these games very seriously. This is a great practice game, as Horseman is definitely top 3 right now in Asia. And they can actually rotate their lineups around. This is great practice against a new tank lineup, too, because what we're seeing from Horseman is so different and unique. than what the rest of the Asian teams are playing on this map.
All right, wow. So flags still untouched just yet. Base capture down to 50 seconds. We do hear shots, but again, very, very slow game. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the game clock.
Now, Gorilla, again, is still so pinned down here. He's basically a dead tank. He's not able to do anything. He does take a shot here. It's not going to work, but notice his positioning is really nice. So that ricochet twice, in fact. Once from Reflection and once from, I believe, one of those TVPs. Not able to crack him. But no one is able to touch flag, and guess what? Finally, those TVPs are actually going to go into that base capture. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they're just going to sneak right in. Base capture is going to go down real fast now. Black is on the corner. Flag needs to hide himself a little bit better, though, just in case. But I guess that doesn't really even matter at this point. EL Gaming will go ahead and take game number 1 by base capture.
I'm going to get really deep, but basically what we saw there, once there was an advantage for EL from the TVPs whittling down those tanks, we saw literally the Great Wall of China was built on this map, and they blocked all those tanks from denying flag. And once flag was at safe capture zone, like sub 30, that's when they decided it was safe to send those TVPs in. The TVPs started moving. They tested the waters. It wasn't shown on camera, but I saw on the minimap, they kind of moved towards that location, saw that no one was shooting at them, which meant the rest of the tanks were also pinned back further. And so that was a safe time to duck in there, reduce the timer to 6, and then there was no way for them to hit flag.
There was absolutely nothing for them to come around and hit flag with. I didn't know Mines was in Beijing.
Yeah, it's the Great Wall of China was built. We witnessed history.
Wow.
If you've got Twitch app on your phone in space, you can see that Great Wall of China from space. But let's see what happens now when EL is on the defense.
Yep.
And let's see if Horseman is going to bring this slower lineup, because I don't think this IS tank destroyer lineup on Mines is going to work very well on the attack. It's going to be hard to actually get into position with that. I think they are going to, based on what we saw them do last game, I think they're going to go more heavy on the 215Bs, which are more popular in Asia right now. I don't think we're going to see, if they bring IS tanks, we have seen some attacking teams do that, but they're not going to do that. And the E100 tank destroyer and the E3, like that tank lineup is just too slow and too clunky for attack, especially versus such a mobile team like EL.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the Horsemen will go towards the mine side and rush this, or if they're going to try to do a base capture tactic as well. But yeah, against EL, I'm not sure what the best method would be at this point, I guess.
I think just trying to brawl is the toughest way to do it. Like, that's the one you want to try to avoid. I think if you go for a tank lineup that has Object 140s in it, as well as TVPs, kind of like what EL did, I think that's your best bet. Not necessarily STB1s, because I think EL's accuracy is so good that they use the STB1s better than like almost any team could at that range. So I would like to see TVPs and Object 140s from Horsemen here.
Yeah?
If they bring an IS tank, I think they could bring one. If they bring an IS-7, I'm like totally okay with that. But not much more than that. I want to see like a more well-rounded game from them, not so much the slower.
I mean, I guess they would bring in an IS tank if they wanted to base capture, right? To see if they can do that. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what the Horsemen are going to do, how they're going to play this out, especially on the attack now. All right, well, it looks like the game is ready, guys. Let's head into game number 2. All right, welcome back to Mines. This is set number 2, Horsemen versus EL Gaming. The sides have been swapped. EL took the first game, now it's Horsemen's turn to attack.
All right, so basically, Horseman is going to bring the exact tanks I was hoping for. 2 Object 140s, 2 TVPs. They brought 2 STB1s, which I would have liked to see 1 and 3 TVPs, but basically what I was saying, but EL has predicted this and has countered it hard.
Wow, yes, they have.
So EL is like on the same page as me. They expected this too, and they're bringing not only the T-62As for that extra firepower, but they're going to have a lot of STB1s in the front line.
And look, they expected the brawl. EL and Horsemen are going to head right to the Mines opening site, and now they're just going to trade shells left and right, none taking a brunt of it. He's already down to half HP, so Collins taking down some damage, so is Faluso.
But Nice did get focus fire. Good focus fire here by Horseman. They actually pick him up first. None is going to be the next to fall.
Nice and None, 1 for 1. They are down, both STBs.
But the positioning here for EL is much better, I feel. Look at where Colin and Falusa are. They have nowhere to run. Colin's going to be the next to fall here, and Falusa will probably come right after them. They can actually go behind Falusa, while the rest of the TVPs are actually reloading or looking elsewhere, and the T-62As are going to crush that line.
They sure are, and already Horseman down 3 tanks. Gorilla looks like the next one to go. Oh, no, it was Reflection, actually.
Yep, Reflection does die here, but again, this is the tank count like you were talking about. Fox is just going to go and shoot them in the face, force them to actually slide down, and they're going to have total control here.
They are going down. Archon goes down. You know, to be completely honest with you, though, it is a 3v4. Yes, Flag is, you know, down to 72 HP, but it's the tank count.
Yeah, don't forget also one of those 3 tanks on the Horseman is the T-54 Lightweight, and as you guys can see, it dies very quickly. Flag does die, but look at this. He actually trades 1 for 1 here, which is exactly what you want to do when you have a tank lead.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And now it's all up to Sidonia Tommy on that TVP that's reloading, mind you. It almost looks like he's already given up hope. He's going to try to escape Fox. And he's just going to get surrounded here. Newman is going to take a shot at him right away. Look at the positioning again, and he's still on reload.
He is on reload, and he's just kind of... He's going to be surrounded very, very soon. I mean, Newman's full. Doesn't even matter. Sidonia Tommy can't really do much, even though he's got full rounds, and that's going to be game number 2. Wow. You were right. You know what? When we said, we had mentioned, if they brawl, that's probably going to be the hardest way, but that's the way they chose.
This is actually how I wish, like, just to speak totally frankly, this is how I wish, like, every single game on this map looked like from a standpoint of tank picks were intelligent, they were countered well, which is, it's blind pick, right? But still, EL knew what they were up against most likely. They countered it. The STB positioning was perfect. Horsemen knew they were in a bad place, rotated around, even took the slide down to try to escape. That was like a really high-level game, and it was very, very close. EL was always ahead because their positioning was better, but Horsemen really gave them the run for their money there. So that was a really cool game, too, before we go into Cliff. So EL taking a 2-0 lead. But I have high hopes that Horsemen could take a game or 2 here. They're really playing very smart.
They are. On Cliff, again, I mean, if they don't brawl straight up right at the arena, like right at the foot of the cliff, I think that might be better. Horsemen need to play this smart. I think trying to get for a base capture might be a bit better for this one. I
hope we see actually Object 430 maybe coming in on this map, and STB, like one STB1 and a bunch of TVPs. I think that would be a cool lineup for Horsemen. I think what we're going to see from EL is actually 2 STBs. I think they're going to bring the T-262As again, and bring Object 140s. I think they're going to try to keep it standard for game 1, just going into this map. On attack is going to be Horsemen first on this map.
So we'll definitely see a bat shot. My assumption is there.
I actually don't know necessarily for sure if we'll see a bat shot for EL, though. I think they might cut it out. Just for a longer sustainability and a longer fight. Because I think they expect Horsemen will try to do something tricky. That's what I would expect, right? Like, Horsemen's not going to just go to the middle of the map.
If Horsemen are going to go with a bat shot, then obviously we are definitely going to see TVPs on this map for EL. I'm wondering if they would take the western side and brawl out that way.
Well, we have seen a lot of teams do that in the past, EL included. Super Noobs did that once, and I think Horsemen also did that versus Team Efficiency. I think that's what happened when they fought each other on this map. So I think there's a high chance that we'll see that. I would rather see that than see Horsemen try to go head-to-head in what we like to call the arena. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now, Horsemen just really need to outsmart EL. And I say outsmart in terms of strategy because obviously the precision of this team, EL is just so good at finding a target and focus firing them down. I think if Horsemen are able to just kind of beat them at that game and come up with a strategy that allows them to run around a little bit more, that might be a better option than just to brawl out.
Sure. I think there's a higher chance we'll see bat shots for Horsemen than we will for EL. And if they both do it, I think there's a higher chance we'll have 2 bat shots maybe for Horsemen and 1 for EL. But we'll see what they're planning to do because it looks like the game is ready.
I think the game is ready. We're just going to wait for everyone to load in. And set number 3 is ready. Let's get into it. All right, guys, set number 3. EL Gaming is up 2 games. Horsemen are on the attack, and we are on Cliff now. Here are the tanks. Ooh, the bat shots and the TVPs. Oh, God, that's a lot of autoloaders.
Yeah, it looks like a Karen Tiger lineup right there. 2 Batshats, 4 TVPs, and RU-251. For EL, they didn't bring the 62As like I thought they would, but they are bringing mostly 140s, 2 TVPs, and just 1 STB1 makes it into the lineup. No STB1 to be seen for Horsemen as their full autoloader. And let's see what path they're going to take.
Yeah.
The difference between a TVP and a Batshat is almost like the difference between a 5100 and a 1390 last season. Like the TVP is more consistent damage, but the Batshat is like more damage in that one moment. Like it's more of an all-in type damage. But here we go.
Oh, here we go. They are going to meet right in the middle. Here is the arena. Reflection heading up north, seeing if he can get the high ground advantage to take some shots. And it looks like it worked. Gorilla taking quite a bit of damage already from the beginning. So it's Faluso and Archon, and yet and EL Gaming completely untouched.
Look at how Reflection goes up there. I want to point out he takes no damage, and he gets vision of all 6 tanks. He knows exactly which ones are positioned where, what rocks are hiding behind. The TVPs are in the back, the Batshats are in the front. He can tell them that as well. He gets every piece of information, then walks away, and now EL Gaming knows exactly how to respond, and that's why they have a 3,000 hit point lead right now. That's why they haven't taken any damage.
Oh my gosh, they haven't taken it. Okay, Nice finally takes a little bit of damage there, but you know what? Slowly but surely, Horsemen are just getting chipped down. Now you guys can see on the map, there's Spencer on the RU-251. He's really far away. He's the one doing a bit of damage on Nice, actually.
Yeah, he gave them so much vision.
Oh, there goes Sidonia Tommy. Already one has bit the dust.
Notice the position of Black here as well. The only reason he knows this was a safe choice was because of Reflection scouting earlier on. And they can respond so quickly. Guanren's in a bit of an awkward position here. He may be able to escape.
Maybe, but while that is happening, we can see here still in the arena, people just taking shots at one another. These tanks are falling very, very fast. Faluso is the next to go down. It might be none. Next. Ooh, Guanren. Archon is the next one to go.
This was definitely a very desperate attempt by Horsemen. They just kind of ran out into the no man's land, and they were surrounded by EL. And now EL is going to eliminate the last tank, Spencer, as soon as they hunt him down. In fact, it looks like Nice already found him.
Yep, and mind you, even though Guanren down to 22 HP, still alive. So that was a 7v0, almost. That was a perfect game, basically.
Yeah, perfect game essentially there.
Didn't I tell them they shouldn't go brawl?
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I wanted to see the Object 430 tanks come in instead as well, because I felt like that was going to be the better way to tackle that map, is to win it in a longer, slower game. I think EL is probably going to run the same lineup, and I think Horsemen probably is too. I think they might use it a little bit differently. The big key thing in that game happened in the first like 10 seconds of it. It was when Reflection got up the cliff, saw everybody, and you saw EL instantly fan out and react accordingly. So they had their TVPs to be able to hit the Batshats at an angle, and the STB was able to go and deal with the TVPs to get extra vision. Then you had Nice on the Object 140 coming around getting extra vision, and they basically just kind of surrounded and killed. Plus their accuracy was, they were able to take blind shots where they didn't actually have a line of sight, because Reflection said he's in this bush and he's behind this rock. I know you can't see him, but if you shoot there, he's there. I saw him already, you know.
Wow, that was a slaughter. I mean, now that they're switching sides, I just, even on the no, not on the defense, as an attack, that EL is just going to be so scary.
Well, I think we're going to see the same lineup of tanks from EL, I would say. I don't think Horseman's going to change it up either, because I think they've decided this is going to be the way they're going to beat EL in a fight. This is not a tactical choice. This is kind of a, let's hope we can beat them in one fight. Like maybe they'll make a mistake. I think the key here, though, is to make sure that Reflection doesn't get that early vision. It's going to be easier now that they're on the defense, because the defense can always get to that location faster.
Right. And maybe they'll be able to use that high ground, just head up there, send some I don't know, I feel like they're going to have a Batshot, send a Batshot up there, see if it could do some damage from up top. I can't even speak today, from the high ground. And, I mean, they really need to just jump the gun, and I feel like they need to do damage onto EL early on, because the more they wait, EL is just deadly.
Yeah, really, I have to agree. I think you really do have to get the ambush jump on them, kind of. You could, this will almost never happen, but in a perfect world, if you could focus down one of the TVPs of EL, then you get a tank advantage, then you rotate and you play the slow game that Horseman is good at. I think that's your best shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how other teams have beat EL in the past. We've definitely seen them just try to surprise attack them. Like you said, ambush them somehow, get rid of a tank or hurt another one, and try to get that tank advantage. But all right, both teams are ready, guys. I think we're going to go ahead, head into game number 4 on Cliff. All right, guys, set number 4, Horsemen versus EL Gaming. EL Gaming with 3 wins, and they're going to be on the attack for this map.
Well, let's take a look at Horseman's tanks first, actually. I just want to see if they've changed much. One Batshot, they traded it out for an Object 140. They also brought an STB as well, so one less TVP there. So trading 2 of their autos for a more well-rounded lineup. And EL is going to go more heavy on... I know, actually, they're bringing the exact same lineup.
Yeah, they have the same lineup from before. We could see here Horsemen all trying to get to that high ground like we had said. They're going to travel together as a pack. But what does EL have in store for them? EL Gaming right now actually not headed there. They're going to take that western road and drive up that way, see if they can take them from the back door. Oh, it's not really a door.
Sure, the back
path.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's somewhat of a backdoor sort of opportunity here.
But
and
do you
they're
see
gonna
this?
split.
Okay, do you already see RU251? Reflection is already there. I don't even know how he teleported himself that way.
He took the longer road, but because he's such a fast tank, he sneaked around, and no one's expecting him. The first, Archon just gets a 6th sense.
And while he went to go see if he can hit Reflection, the other members of EO Gaming from behind is going to chip him down.
This is not a coincidence that as soon as Reflection took the shot, Archon turned around, and that was what EL was waiting for. And while Archon was faced the other way, they all focused him down. He's still alive, but he's very badly crippled here.
Wow.
Very good coordination here by EL.
Reflection wants to see if he could just go ahead and finish this off. One more shot, see if he can kill Archon. He misses.
He could probably still get it with his next shot.
I think so too. Archon is out of round. Oh, yep, he does. There we go. Archon is out of the picture.
Ooh, this could be a good opportunity for Horsemen. Oh, I thought they were going to wait, but instead they're actually going to walk out into a firing squad.
God. Well, you know what? They're trying to do exactly what EL did. They found Guan Ren, see if they could focus on him, but they really didn't dent him much at all. Faluso and Spencer, they got to get... Oh, man, they're really going to have to be careful and move away or hide.
Oh, this is just a disaster. They walked right into a line of fire, in an entrenched position here.
Did they move the Great Wall of China over to Cliff? Because that's exactly what it looks like.
They made the Great Wall of China into a firing squad, and Horseman just walked in to be executed. I thought Horseman was going to try to ambush EL and wait defensively for them there, but the opposite happened. They actually attacked. You saw them all group up for a second there, and I was like, okay, they're going to wait here. This is smart, but then they just went in for it. And now EL's going to take their 4th win here.
Oh, God. Colin, when you have 4 members of EL Gaming coming towards you, what is going through your mind?
I'm screwed, I think is what's probably going through his mind. This is game over.
Maybe if I hide in this bush, they can't find me. Oh, no, they found me.
I think he's thinking about Muravanka right now, because that's where we're going for game 5.
That's where we are going to game 5. EL Gaming going to take another convincing win. That's 4 wins, and we're on match point already.
I want to point out also that these games have all been very quick. EL has, this is also partially due to the map pool that we have today, but EL has really pinpointed the weaknesses early and abused them. It's all come down to Reflection, especially on Cliff. Reflection being super MVP. They're getting all the information, and also firing on Archon. The second that happens, EL waits for him to turn around, and then they all fire on him because he's looking the opposite way. He can't even return fire. He also, because of the way his turret was facing, because of the way movement works in this game, he can't even really move out of the way without rotating his turret back, so he's basically going to be dead for sure.
Oy.
Messy there.
Oy. That was an incredible move, though, just baiting Archon to come out and see if he can get Reflection, and then just ambush. I mean, EL used the ambush tactic that we told Horsemen that they should be using.
I felt like Horsemen played a lot better on Mines. I feel like they played a little bit desperately and or Hail Mary style on Cliff. I feel like, I want to say on Muravanka they would play a little bit more like they would on Mines, but I almost feel like they're kind of not giving up, but they're kind of have a feeling of frustration / feebleness. How can we beat them? You know, it feels like an exercise in futility. Let's see if they actually give this their all here.
Okay, well, Muravanka is a different map, right? It's a different style map. I see what you're saying. I mean, when you've lost 4 in a row in that kind of manner, it's really tough just mentally to regain that hope and regain that focus to try and utilize the strategies that you've prepared for the game.
Yeah, I worry for Horseman here. I think they're going to try another autoloader heavy setup and try to beat EL. If I was EL, like if I was like maybe Guanren or Reflection making these choices, maybe even Black, I'd be like, guys, let's actually bring like 2 IS tanks onto this. Let's just kind of wait it out. Let's outlast them on this map, and then we win 5-0. We can rest up, prepare for the playoffs where we take first place, because that's where they're going after this. Big props, by the way, to EL for, even despite being right now 5 points ahead of Super Noobs, giving it their all, playing every game perfectly, not messing around, not trolling or anything. Also, allowing Flag to have a bigger opportunity, letting Spring rest his laurels a little bit, prepare maybe for the playoffs, and letting Flag get a little bit more play time so that actually maybe he can be there at the finals, and actually, they have a bit of swapping they can do.
Yeah, AEL Gaming definitely takes this game seriously and takes the league very seriously, and so we very much appreciate that. I don't think they've ever DQ'd except for that one time where they just had connection. The weather was really bad in China. I understand that. Internet in China is pretty awful.
It can get really bad. I definitely have had a few experiences with that myself when I was in China, but this is a really stressful time for Horsemen, but losing this match will not like knock them out of the playoffs or anything like that, but I feel like this is a good practice. Yeah. And I hope that they take this 5th match into consideration, like, as in like, okay, what sort of practice can we get out of this? What sort of, what can we learn from this? Because if Horsemen wins their first playoff match, they will inevitably eventually end up facing EL in the finals. So this is the team they have to beat. So they need to study as much as they can to get the most experience versus the toughest team they will face.
Absolutely. I think this is great. This is more arsenal for them, something they can go back and study. So when they prepare for the playoffs, because right now, Horsemen, like we said, 3rd place, they're definitely in the playoffs. They're going to have to play the EL Gaming eventually again. So we are on Muravanka, guys. Let's head into game number 5. All right, welcome to a very stormy game number 5. This is Horsemen versus EL Gaming. EL Gaming on match point. Can Horsemen do it? Can they take a map off of the number 1 team?
That's what we're here to find out, Susie. Now, taking a look at these tank lineups, let's talk about Horsemen first. 3 STB1s and 2 Object 140s. Also bringing 1 TVP with their 1390. So not as much autoloader as I thought we'd be seeing. A little bit more of a sturdy lineup, and the same goes for EL. They bring 2 TVPs, but they're bringing 2 STB1s and Object 140 and that T62A. So a patient lineup for EL, but I guess a little bit more mobile than I expected. I thought they might play with a heavy tank or 2.
Okay. All right, well, already we can see here Spencer is going to zip on by, whether he wants to get into the base capture. I'm not sure. Oh, nice, kind of overextended a little bit. Took a bit of a hit, but yeah, Spencer, careful, buddy.
Notice the difference between how Reflection plays this game versus how he played on Cliff. This time he's going to stay back a little bit more because he knows that he's actually going to get a lot of vision of the east side, but he doesn't want to die early on because he's an AMX 1390. He's actually going to pack a punch at the end of this game.
Right, and he's also saying that just in the case that Horsemen decide to go and sneak in a tank into the base capture number 2, you definitely need eyes over there. That's exactly what they're doing. EL Gaming kind of backing off right now, almost as if they want Horsemen to start that base capture, kind of like we're going to give you some time to regroup.
Yeah, notice the formation of EL. They're ready to move at a moment's notice in any direction, and they have done, favorable trading, and they know they don't have to push the issue yet, so they're just going to simply be patient here.
Ooh, Guanren might get caught out over here, though. He is at the edge of the map.
Yeah. Never want to be on the edge of that. You don't have a lot of room to work with.
Just all around this map, all you see are the aims. You guys see like the blue and red everywhere. They're just going to take shots at each other. None is the first to fall.
Yeah, this is just outmaneuvering here by EL. Although Horseman getting some good trades here. Guanren goes down, and Fox is in a bit of an awkward spot here. May fall as well. Looks like he's going to escape. Archon goes down. It's really important that Fox lives here. That's so much extra firepower.
Gosh, it is funny that you say that. It really is all about maneuvering and getting that perfect position. And as of right now, EL is doing a good job of it. However, there goes 2 members of EL Gaming.
Oh my god, Fox is a god. My favorite player of all time.
2 members of Horsemen now go down as well. It's like a 2 for 2. I don't even know how that happened in the tanks.
Fox knew exactly the reload time. He knew he could actually hit that shot first at that angle. That's actually incredible. Now, Colin wants to kill him here because he knows, oh my god, we cannot let Fox live. He's the only autoloader really left to do that damage. And if Fox gets protected, oh, look at this. See, Flag knows this too. He's going to protect Fox. Fox is so important. Oh, nice attempt here by Colin. Hits Black instead. This is still a possible win here for Horseman.
Oh,
Faluso picks Fox
does
up.
go down. Faluso is like, we are done with you. It is a 3v3, but with Black really, really low on HP. Reflection still very far away. It seems like he wants to do damage from afar, maybe not get caught out, but he is coming back. Black does go down.
Okay,
3v2.
This could be Horseman's opportunity because now Reflection is going to need to take out Spencer. It looks like he's actually going to go fight these 140s first. Here he comes. He wants to get Faluso. Faluso's going to go down.
Yep.
This is actually such a close game.
Oh, gosh. So now it is a 2v2 for real. And here comes Reflection. Hero.
Much better rotation here for EL because Spencer was so far away, he was too safe, which meant he couldn't respond quickly enough, and now it's a 2v1. Reflection has to reload, but it looks like down Spencer goes before that even happens, and EL will take their 5th and final win to pick up their last 3 points, securing their spot in first place.
That was a lot closer than any of the games we saw today.
Yeah.
I really was rooting for I thought it was going to be at least a 5-1 tonight.
It almost was. Spencer was playing so safe. Notice the difference between Spencer and Black in that game. Black, when he was low, he just hid behind the rock and hid in the bush and kept himself alive as long as possible. He wasn't trying to be out of the fight, whereas Spencer was so scared he went completely away. And by the time that fight happened, even though it was a 3v2, Spencer was gone, so it was a 2v2. The focus fire was better for EL. By the time Spencer was there, he wasn't as useful. Not to say that Spencer made like a big mistake there, but that's one of the tiny differences between these two teams that I feel led to that win overall for EL.
All right. Well, that was great. I'm trying to see what there's like a news thing, but they haven't really given us any update.
Yeah, a bit worrisome. I feel like we may end up.
I think we actually have a DQ, guys. So Super Friends decided, or I don't know if they decided, but we didn't have all the members of Super Friends here either. So it looks like Super Noobs will go home with 3 points. This keeps the first, second, third place exactly the same.
Yep.
Because EL and Super Noobs getting those 2 points, 3 points rather, and then Horseman still in third place there.
Yeah, it just widens the gap, I guess, for Horsemen.
Yeah.
So that will 100% secure those two teams. So EL and Super Noobs will be in first and second, respectively. That is totally locked in and set now.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a look at the results for tonight. This was a very quick night, guys. Match number 1, B Gaming versus Immortals. Immortals not showing up gives B Gaming a win. Then we have EL Gaming versus Horseman. That was a 5-0. EL taking the 3 points. And then match number 3, Super Friends just, we just got notification that they also did not show up. And so Super Noobs get their 3 points for tonight.
So there you have it, guys. That will be our results for today. And really got to just, again, express my disappointment that 2/3 of our matches were not broadcast tonight.
I know.
Especially because we haven't seen B Gaming in a while. I feel like B Gaming keeps collecting points from DQ'd teams. And I really want to see how good they are in form because they will be playing against these Super Friends tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, excuse me, on Monday. Potentially if the Super Friends shows for that one. Otherwise, B Gaming just keeps collecting points, and that might actually allow them to pass Karen Tiger.
Yeah, I was going to say, B Gaming now are tied with Karen Tiger due to this DQ. I think B Gaming goes up to about 21.
Yeah.
When they are ready with the rankings, we'll go ahead and take a look at the rankings here. But I believe B Gaming and Karen Tiger are now tied.
Yeah, and looking at the schedule of things, okay, so next week, on Monday, Super Noobs will play against Karen Tiger, so that's a tough 3 points to get. But B Gaming has to play against Super Friends. Now, even if Super Friends does show, that's a favorable match for B Gaming. So this is like predictions-wise, it seems like B Gaming will be in the playoffs and Karen Tiger will not.
Wow. All right, let's take a look at the rankings here. I think the ranking list is ready. Here we go. Secured number 1, EL Gaming, 39 points, 13-1. Super Noobs also get their 3 points, 12-1. So they still have one more game to play.
And even if both Karen Tiger and B Gaming win, Neither of them will pass Horseman, so Horseman is secured with their third place spot. So top 3 are all secured. Now, what happens if both Karen Tiger and B Gaming wins? We will have a tiebreaker of some sort. Like, we'll have to look more closely at their set wins.
Or I think what happens is we take a look and see who won between the Karen Tiger and B Gaming game.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then, I don't know, they'll let us know. Production decides. You know, with the new format and all this season, I'm not 100% sure how they're going to go about it. But we will find out. Team Efficiency, wow, you know, they were down at 8th place. They have secured their spot in the Gold Series going into next season now, which is huge. And then Super Friends and Immortals, a little disappointing because we didn't really get to see them play.
Yeah, looking at, actually, if you look at the final matches for next week, if Team Efficiency loses their match to the Immortals, then the Immortals will tie with Super Friends, unless the Super Friends, if Team Efficiency loses and Super Friends wins their match versus versus B Gaming, which is unlikely but possible, then Team Efficiency would be knocked to silver. Very unlikely scenario, though.
Well, you know, that's if Immortals show up.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel really terrible saying that, but they have actually not been here for the last 3 matches now. And against Team Efficiency, even if they play them, considering how strong they've been, I really think they have a great shot at beating Immortals straight up. Now, next matchup then, let's take a look at Monday, February 1st. We're into February on Monday.
Yep, it's our final regular round robin match. So we already talked about all 3 of these games, but now they're up on screen for you guys. The most important of all is Karen Tiger versus Super Noobs. If Karen Tigers win that match, B Gaming is expected to win their third, but if Karen Tigers win, then they're actually going to have, they're going to be tied. We're going to have to look more closely at that. But if they lose, which is, again, looking
also
at predictions
very
and things,
possible,
very possible, then B Gaming will secure their spot with a win versus Super Friends. We don't know if Super Friends is going to show, but if they do, B Gaming will, I think, be highly favored versus them.
I believe so too.
And I think Karen Tiger will probably be very unhappy with how the kind of DQs went this season because it puts them in a bit of an awkward spot.
It put all of us in an awkward spot. All right, that's all going to be on February 1st. That is Monday, guys, and that's at 8 o'clock UTC +8. That's going to be 9 p.m. Korea Standard Time. Have a great weekend, and we will see you back on Monday. Good night.